Been a fantastic weekend of football. Well done to Ipswich fans. By the way, if you're a supporter of a Premier League club and you're heading to Ipswich next season, set off now. Because the A12 is the worst road in England.
Listen, I've frequented that road a few times in my Norwich days. And you know, for the Ipswich players, they'll have some long old journeys next season as well, you know, travelling by coach and here, there and everywhere. But look, right now they must be absolutely thrilled at the fact that they're back in the Premier League, and it's a lovely club. It has always been one of those places. Nice to go there and watch a game. It was always lovely to go there and play, and I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, Conor Chaplin joining us at 8 a.m. Of course, it's not impossible, Andy, that both of the East Anglian sides, Norwich are in the playoffs.
They are indeed.
Norwich and Ipswich both in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Not inconceivable.
That would be good. Has that ever happened?
I honestly don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to get the guys to have a think about that. But it would be it's a lovely thought. It really would to have, you know, a Premier League old farm derbies as they call it. So it'd be nice to look forward to. But no, really, really very well done to Ipswich. It was touch and go for a while, but they got there in the end. That's all that matters.
Yeah, 22 years away from the Premier League, but now they are back, and, you know, I've got a feeling we're going to talk a lot about Ipswich this morning. I don't think there'll be a pushover at all. I know people point to the sides that went up last season and say, well, they're all coming straight back down. But you look a season before that, and Fulham and Bournemouth both went up then. And actually, by the way, they went up with fewer points than Ipswich. Yeah. So, you know, there's no reason why anybody should write Ipswich off at this stage.
Boys have just told me, Jeff, 94-95 was the last time Ipswich and Norwich were both in the Premier League, and they both got relegated.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, they'll all be hoping that history doesn't repeat itself. That is for sure. We're bang up against it in terms of time already, and it's only 6:38. So let's move on to the Championship. And in the case of Ipswich, let's move out of the Championship. They are back in the big time.
So it all comes down to this.
This is the proudest I've ever been.
Euphoria. Honestly, incredible.
West Barnes! Like the blue touch paper!
We can't underestimate what an incredible achievement this is.
Yeah, really proud. Phenomenal group. Phenomenal club support, and an amazing day.
The Ipswich fans, as you can hear, in full voice around us here at Portman Road.
Feels amazing, I have to say. It's you want to get it over the line, so it's relief, it's pride, it's so many emotions, but all positive.
It really is a dream come true. It's so special. Having my family here as well. Obviously, my mum and dad have been in tears. I've been in tears, but it's just to see this club back to where it belongs. And
goal! Amari Hutchinson! Ipswich Town are Premier League bound.
And every single player that has played their part, not just on the pitch, there's some who didn't get in the squad today. They will go down as legends.
You know, football just never ceases to amaze me.
You know, coming off the back of last year, this team delivers at crunch time.
Kieran McKenna has worked the oracle, and how. An extraordinary achievement.
And I'm absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic football club, and you know, we can look back on a season well done now and look forward to next season as well.
Ipswich are back in the Premier League.
Yeah, Ipswich back in the Premier League for the first time since 2002. Well done to them. Joining us now to tell us just how far this journey can go for the Tractor Boys is Rich Woodward of the Blue Monday podcast. Morning, Rich.
Morning, Rich.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Very good. How old were you, Rich, when they were last in the Premier League?
It was half a lifetime ago for me when we were in the Premier League. I was just leaving school, going to university, and I was on the pitch as we were going off to Wembley to beat Barnsley, and I didn't think it was 22 years before I'd be on the pitch again.
Brilliant. Back-to-back promotions as well, without a huge budget. So how have they done it?
It's momentum, I think. A huge amount of it goes down to the coach, Kieran McKenna, just massively beloved in this part of the world. The secret's out there nationwide. You know all about him now. And he's just harnessed that momentum, built a real team spirit, and off the field, a huge amount of credit goes to the owners and the CEO for just harnessing the community aspect that had been sadly neglected under the previous ownership. And when you kind of bring those things together, you know, as you guys know, we're all one club county. When everyone's behind it, when the players are behind it, when you've got a really astute coach, the jigsaw comes together really quickly. And none of us, I suspect, imagined automatic straight away, but we hoped for consolidation, but this has just been beyond our wildest.
Rich, look, Burnley had an amazing season last season, and of course this time round it's very different in the Premier League. How loyal does Kieran McKenna stay to the squad and to the players that have served him very well over the last 10 months, as opposed to insisting maybe that they go and look for, dare I say it, players with a little bit more repute and quality?
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult balance, isn't it? Yeah, it's a debate that I'm sure Mark Ashton and Kieran McKenna will be having over the next few weeks. A large proportion of our success has happened off the back of being loyal to that squad that got us the success in League One. A lot of the recruitment in League One was with the Championship in mind, with players brought from the likes of Everton and Arsenal. And therefore I think there's potential there, but absolutely the league has changed beyond all recognition whilst we've been away, and I think you have to bring in that level of quality to compete there. But I wouldn't be surprised if the nucleus of that squad is the guys who have been on the pitch celebrating this weekend.
Well, I certainly hope that's the case. That is for sure, Rich. You know, I want to see Sam Morsey in the Premier League. I want to see Conor Chaplin get his chance in the Premier League. And don't believe all those merchants of doom and gloom. You know, you finished up on 96 points. 2 seasons ago, Fulham went up with 90 and Bournemouth went up with 88, and they're not doing too shabbily, are they?
No, exactly right. A lot of it is about how you go about it. I think if you just scrap all the stuff that's got you the success, then I think you're up to fail. And I think we won't go about that. We've mentioned the manager, Kieran McKenna, a few times. That doesn't feel like his style. His pedigree as well. He's a coach that's come through at Spurs and Man United. You know, that will really stand us in good stead. He's coached at the top end of the Premier League. So there won't be any surprises for him. There might be for us as fans, but yeah, I totally agree. I think there's, you know, Morsey's a great example. We love him as well, captain. I'm sure he's going to enjoy referees and VAR at the top level, but he's led by example throughout, and I would love to see him get that opportunity. And I think the rest of the squad kind of follows his lead as well, and that gives me real hope.
And other key positions, Rich, you think that will be looked at heavily?
I think the goalkeeper situation's a question mark. We obviously had Christian Moulton, who was so good for us, got injured at the eve of the season. And Václav Hladký's come in, been amazing for us, but there's a question mark about his future. So I think they'll look to resolve that quite quickly. I think you could make an argument across the pitch. You know, as sad as it sounds to be talking about that so quickly, the level is just so much higher. But I think it will be supplementing what we have rather than a huge wholesale replacement. You know, there's players who are pushing towards 30 and all that kind of stuff as well. You need some pace in there as well. We certainly have that, but you just have to go to another level, don't you? And I think they'll be looking to strengthen across the park, I think.
Brilliant, Rich. Look, I'll tell you a measure of how much they've achieved. Just briefly, I've stolen this from the Times today. 2 seasons ago, they played Forest Green in August. At that stage, Forest Green were above Ipswich in the league table. Next season, Forest Green will start in the National League, and you will start in the Premier League. Absolutely fantastic. Have a great summer. Enjoy the dreams, Rich.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's just a fantastic story. And I'll tell you what, Portman Road, they've only lost once at home. It's a proper good old-fashioned football ground.
It is.
Won't be an easy place to go to, Andy.
Won't be easy. And again, like all newly promoted teams, Jeff, if they get off to a good start, you never know what they might be capable of. The beauty of getting promoted automatically is now they have the chance. They got that little bit more time to really plot and think hard about which way they're going to go, whether they're going to spend some serious money or whether they're going to just fatten the squad up with more of what they have and hope that that's going to be enough for them. It's going to be a fascinating watch.
It certainly is. Talking of newly promoted teams, next, Bromley. Good morning, it's 4 minutes past 8 o'clock. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling, alongside me, the former Republic of Ireland captain Andy Townsend, still to come over the next 2 hours or so. Former Spurs and West Ham boss Harry Redknapp will look back on what was a difficult weekend for 2 of his former sides. Bromley manager Andy Woodman joins us after he guided the club to the EFL for the first time in their history, and Sheffield Wednesday forward Josh Windass will tell us how Danny Röhl masterminded their great escape to beat the drop in the Championship. Now though, Ipswich are back in the big time.
So it all comes down to this.
This is the proudest I've ever been.
Euphoria, honestly, incredible.
West Barnes! Like in the blue touch paper.
We can't underestimate what an incredible achievement this is.
Yeah, really proud. Phenomenal crew, phenomenal club support, and yeah, an amazing day.
The Ipswich fans, as you can hear, in full voice around us here at Portman Road.
Feels amazing, I have to say. It's you want to get it over the line, so it's relief, it's pride, it's so many emotions, but all positive.
It really is a dream come true. It's so special. Having my family here as well. Obviously, my mum and dad have been in tears. I've been in tears, but it's just to see this club back to where it belongs. And
Goal! Amari Hutchinson! Ipswich Town are Premier League bound.
And these, every single player that has played their part, not just on the pitch, there's some who didn't get in the squad today, they will go down as legends.
You know, football just never ceases to amaze me.
You know, coming off the back of last year, this team delivers at crunch time.
Kieran McKenna has worked the oracle, and how. An extraordinary achievement.
And I'm absolutely loving it. It's a fantastic football club, and you know, we can look back on a season well done now and look forward to next season as well.
Ipswich are back in the Premier League.
Yeah, Ipswich back in the Premier League for the first time since 2002. Back-to-back promotions for them. Someone who's enjoyed the journey is Simon, the Ipswich fan.
We'd possibly push into the top 6 or in the top 4, and everyone laughed at me for that. But look where we are now. We're now in the Premier League. I can't get over it. You look at the structure we've got at the club. You've got Ashton, who's the man realistically at the top, in between the owners and the management team. He was the one who's like, you know, put this master plan together when Paul Cook got the sack. Said, right, okay, let's get it together. Let's get a team together that we can push on and get Premier League. And look where we are now. Like, you know, McKenna, I think we're going to be lucky to keep a hold of him.
Simon, the Ipswich fan there, joining us now to tell us what the celebrations have been like as a man who played a key role in the promotion campaign. 13 goals and 8 assists. It's a very good morning to Conor Chaplin. Morning, Conor.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Andy.
Morning, Conor. Well done, mate.
Yeah, congratulations, Conor. What's the weekend been like? What have the celebrations been like?
It's been incredible. Incredible weekend. A lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. Yeah, it was brilliant to probably spend it with people that you love and all the fans as well. So no, it was perfect.
Obviously, a chance to play in the Premier League next season, Conor. How close have you come in the past? Have you ever been on the verge of being a Premier League player?
Well, probably the closest got was the playoffs with Barnsley a few years ago. As close as I've ever been. This is definitely a club that I looked at, maybe not in the short term that it's taken, but in the long term to go on a journey with and try and get there. And thankfully it's all paid off all right.
Conor, over the last few weeks, you must have thought you're there. Then all of a sudden you've seen it slipping through your fingers. You're thinking you're not going to be there. You're going to be in the playoffs. You're going to have to keep going to the end of May, etc., whatever. And then to finally do it just must have been such a euphoric moment for you, such a relief.
Andy, I think that's the main word is relief. I think everyone touches on that when you get over the line. A lot of uncertainty in the last few weeks of the season. We remained really, really calm. We're probably lucky that we have a boss that is incredibly calm and calculated in the way that he delivers his messages, probably pre and post game. That thing really does help us. But yeah, I think you're right. You can see probably us and Leeds in particular, the form over the last 5 games probably wasn't what it had been throughout the whole season. And that's normal, probably. The Championship, there's teams fighting for survival and teams fighting for playoffs. It's normal. I think it's in my eye, it's one of the most incredible leagues in the world to be a part of the Championship, and that's the reason why. But yeah, the main feeling is just relief, and then obviously a lot of pride as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about the manager, Conor, because I think when he first took the job, not many people, outside of Manchester United possibly knew him. But I've read a lot about, for instance, his attention to detail.
Yeah, we were the same as that as a group of players. We were the same. We probably had to do our due diligence and find out his background and things like that before he came in. And it was something I was really excited about because I heard and read a lot of good things about him. But it's obviously the normal anxiety before a new manager comes in. I think like you guys would know, is you never know what's going to happen. But no, on the training pitch and off the pitch as well, I couldn't couldn't possibly speak highly enough of him. So much more than attention to detail and things like that. Probably first and foremost, just a really good human, and his core values are incredible. And ones that I've learned a lot from as well, and probably why the group is as hard working and as humble as we are.
Yeah. So what's the plan now, Conor? Obviously you're gonna get away somewhere, no doubt, and rest up and just get the batteries charged up again. When are you due back?
I actually don't know yet. I don't know. It's probably going to be the longest summer that we've had. Obviously, it's the Premier League starts later, doesn't it, than the EFL? So and finishes earlier. So it's probably going to be a long break. I think we'll probably, as a team, meet up during the middle of that, because I don't think you can have 8-9 weeks off these days. I don't think that's the right thing to do. So I think we'll definitely probably be in at some point in the summer. But yeah, at the moment, just to enjoy the next week. Probably won't be able to let it sink in, and I can't wait to probably be on the beach with my family and reflect properly on it.
Brilliant. 19 different goal scorers this season, I reckon you had, Conor, but you were joint top scorer with 13. Do you back yourself to score goals in the Premier League?
Yeah, of course. I think it's a complete new challenge for absolutely everyone. We're not naive. We know the step up and what it's going to take. The club's going to recruit players to come in and help us with the step up, and it's the players here at the moment. It's our job to make sure we stay in the team and make sure we stay relevant at the football club. I love that about football. I don't think you can ever rest on your laurels. I think we brought players in summer to prepare for the Championship, and you need to go up another level each season if you want to continue playing football for big clubs and clubs with big ambition. And that was probably one of my biggest motivations, and I don't think you can have any more motivation than going into this summer to be as fit and as ready as you've ever been going into the best league in the world. Yeah.
Which ground are you most looking forward to playing at, Conor, next year?
Oh, I must say probably when you look at it, probably Arsenal, Man U, and St James's as well. I've always wanted to play at St James.
Fantastic. Oh, you're in for a treat, pal.
Loads. Can't wait.
I know you don't really care, Conor, but who do you want to go up from the playoffs? You want to see Norwich there with you?
Probably definitely not Norwich. I've got a couple of mates at West Brom, so I wouldn't mind seeing West Brom go up.
Brilliant, man. Look, mate, absolutely fantastic achievement. You've played a major part in it as well. Have a brilliant summer. Look forward to seeing you as a Premier League player next season.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you very much, guys.
Conor.
Appreciate it. Cheers.
Brilliant. And by the way, talk's a good game as well, doesn't
it?
Yeah.
Do you know, it's so exciting, and it's lovely. Isn't it lovely to hear? You know, there's a lad there. They've just come through such a traumatic finish to a championship campaign. They've got through that, just about breathing a sigh of relief, and then you start to think about. They're like, when are the fixtures, Jeff? When are they out? When do they normally come out? Not
for a while yet.
Not for a good while.
They need to just dream for a while.
And then they can start having a look at one or two of those. Great.
Well, joining us now to tell us how far Ipswich could go is their former midfielder, Darren Ambrose. Morning to you, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
Good morning, guys, and it's a glorious morning up here in sunny Suffolk, I tell you that.
Oh, well, that's good news. We're heading there later then. Look, when Ipswich went down, Darren, I think you were just breaking through into the first team, really. Did you imagine then it would be 22 years before they were back in the top division?
No, absolutely not. You're right, Jeff. It was Arsenal, my debut at Highbury. It was the game before the end of the season. We lost 2-0. We ended up having to go to Liverpool to win to stay in the Premier League, and that was tough. We lost 5-0, went down. Then my breakthrough season happened, and we got close. I ended up leaving just before going to Newcastle. We were close to playoffs. Been in the playoffs against West Ham. Got in the playoffs a couple of years ago. I was at the club again against Norwich, and we lost. Not in a million years did I think that 22 years later, I was working for Town TV on Saturday, and it was a brilliant day throughout. 2.5 hours the supporters stayed in that stadium for. It shows how much it meant to them. I just heard what Conor Chaplin had to say, and yes, it was tough few weeks at the back end of the season. No one seemed to want to get it over the line, but getting 4 points that we needed for the last 2 games, we ended up with 6. Unbelievable achievement from everyone involved.
Yeah. When you look at the team, Darren, now, Look, clearly they're going to have to add to it. And of course, the big dilemma for any coach and any club that get newly promoted is how much they spend, how much they want to change what they have. So when you assess that Ipswich squad right now, how ambitious have they got to be?
Yes, you're right. They've got to add quality players to the team in various positions. Essentially, they got the same squad that when they were in League One, and they came second to Plymouth in League One. I think 3 players that were changed, and all 3 of those, Halapke was for Christian Wharton, Amari Hutchinson for Nathan Broadhead, and there was one more player, I think it was Harry Clark was off, and Axel Tuanzebe. That's the same team that played the last game of the season against Exeter at Portman Road. They got the win. So all 3 of those players are on the bench as well. So they need to add quality. I've got a lot of trust in Kieran. I think I've said for many, many weeks now that manager's going to the very, very top. And thankfully it's with Ipswich now. He will earmark players already. He'll know who he needs to bring in, need experience of the Premier League, because it's going to be tough. We've seen that. We've seen that this season. The 3 promoted teams, they look like they could be the 3 heading back down. So I think if it was this season, Ipswich would be okay. But I think next season they need to add a lot of quality to that team, add to what they've already got.
Yeah, I think when you look at some of the Ipswich managers over the year, Alf Ramsey, Bobby Robson, George Burley, Mick McCarthy, you can add Kieran McKenna's name to that list of fantastic managers. Who do you think is going to go up in the playoffs, Darren? Leeds against Norwich, Southampton against West Brom, and nobody really in any sort of form.
No. If I look on a logical hedge, you'd say it's going to be Leeds or Southampton. I think those 2 will get through their semi-final, will be in the final. If I'm honest, Southampton have been the best side I've seen at Portman Road this season. Ipswich unbelievably got it over the line, won 3-2, Jeremy Sarmiento in the 97th minute. Yeah. It was outstanding, but Southampton were really, really good, and they should have won in both games against Ipswich. So who knows? I think if you're an Ipswich supporter, you're secretly wanting Norwich to come up, because I think East Anglian derby in the Premier League will be unbelievable. And
lovely, that.
Maybe 15-year curse of Ipswich would change if they were in the Premier League. So, but logical head, I'd say it's either going to be Leeds or Southampton.
A quick word, one of your other old sides in action tonight, Crystal Palace home to Manchester United. What do you think of how they've performed under Oliver Glasner?
Well, they've really, really turned it around. I think Oliver Glasner's looking to be a really shrewd signing for them as a manager. The form they're in, they've turned it around. There was one point they were looking like they were in the relegation scrap. He's turned it around. But once again, 12th, 13th, 14th place for Crystal Palace. I think their supporters now with Oliver Glasner want to be a little bit more ambitious, look to break into that top 10 in the coming years and see what clubs like Brighton have done, getting into Europe and things like that, because they've got a good enough squad. I think the return of Eze and Elise, of course, has been the catalyst for their turn in form as well. But really pleased for the way it's gone for them. Premier League once again. But yeah, a little bit more ambitious, I think, that they need to look for the next coming seasons.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, Jean-Philippe Mateta looks like a different player under him. That's for sure. Darren, thanks very much for joining us. Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Darren.
Cheers. Bye-bye.